Ladies and gentlemen, your Miami Dolphins get it done in their final preseason game before the regular season starts with a 14-6 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are going to talk about the good, the bad, and of course, the thing I want to talk about the most is those two ugly offensive possessions to start off the game in the first quarter. Absolutely did not like what I saw there, but a win is a win. It's preseason. The guys had fun out there. You could see players running off the sideline, celebrating with each other. This game gave high school scrimmage vibes. And what I mean from that is like when two high school teams are scrimmaging each other and the starters play for about a quarter and a half, maybe both the first and second quarter, and then the backups play in the third and fourth quarter, and it just goes by so slow, and the play calling is very vanilla. It's not the main plays that are going to be called on defense. Trust me, I know that because when I played high school football, I was a backup, and those games would go by so slow. And all I wanted to do was just freaking get on that bus, go back to the clubhouse, get my ass home. And that's what it felt like watching this game tonight. And at halftime, I'm like, I just want this freaking game to be over. Let's stay healthy and let's get to the regular season. That's all I care about. I'm not really thrilled about the win. I don't really care. It's nice to win, but that's not what the preseason is for. The preseason is not for wins and losses. That's what the regular season's for. But I will say, off the bat, my biggest concern of the night, what the fuck happened to Jason Sanders, dude? First off, I have no idea what happened because I think it was Chris Perkins before the game started. It was Chris Perkins who tweeted that Jason Sanders went into the locker room with the trainer by his side, and he did not do the opening kickoff. Jake Bailey did the opening kickoff. They went for two every time they scored a touchdown. They trotted out Jake Bailey to try a 50-yard field goal, and he was freaking laughing it up with the sidelines out there. And I have no idea what happened to Jason Sanders. I don't know the significance of his injury. Hopefully it's not that serious. It must have happened during warm-ups. That's my guess, but I just really hope that this injury is not serious. And if it is, I did look at a couple players for kickers on the free agent list. Probably the top kicker available right now is Zane Gonzalez. That if they had to go out and get a kicker, that's probably the guy I would go for. He got a game-winning kick for Washington in the playoffs last year, and he's probably the best kicker out in the market. But I hope that we don't even have to get there. But that's really my biggest concern of the night was the injury of Jason Sanders. So I am just so happy that this preseason is over. We're on to the regular season. We're on to when it actually matters. The next Dolphins game we will be watching, it counts. It's in Indianapolis. And I'm going to talk about that game a little bit. I know we'll have more time, like after Labor Day weekend. We'll have a video Tuesday because Tuesday's going to be roster cut day. And then the Dolphins are going to trim down the 53 on Tuesday. So Tuesday, we're going to make a podcast here on the channel. And then that might be it for the week, honestly. I might just go ahead, take the rest of the week off, unless, God forbid, anything else happens. Next week is full of fantasy football drafts for me and all that stuff. And I kind of just might just want to take it lightly before, all right, now the school year starts, because I'm a teacher. That's my full-time job, is being a teacher. And, football season's here, and I'm going to be doing videos all the time. So it's like we get the ball rolling here. You guys know I got the girl. She's really into the football season this year, Alyssa. Really into the football. The Dolphins. Of course she's going to be a Dolphins fan with me. So I'm excited, man. There's a lot going on. And football is here. So we're going to be making videos like 4 days a week. I've already got my schedule planned out for after Labor Day. Well, usually Labor Day is my season preview. That's always when my season preview is Labor Day. We will do that. Wednesday, I'll post predictions for week 1. And then Friday, the 5th, is the preview. And then, of course, 2 weeks from tomorrow is our first official season recap video, post-game recap video podcast of the season. So I'm excited, man. And before we talk about this game a little bit, okay, I'm not going to talk about the entire game, but I did a vlog this past Monday at Monday Night Raw at the Wells Fargo Center. You guys go ahead and check that out. It'll be in the last 20 seconds of this podcast. You just go ahead, click on it, and it'll take you right to the vlog. But, of course, don't do that after you've watched the entirety of this podcast tonight. And also, go ahead, check out my girlfriend's vlog, Alyssa's vlog, over on TikTok, and her viewership for that. Let's see here. Here we go. Over 1,000 views, man. And she's putting up content daily, and it's awesome. Very proud of her. Go ahead and check out her stuff. That would be absolutely amazing, man. So, my vlog, her vlog, go ahead and check that out. That all out. So, let's go and get into some stats for this game. Only Dolphin stats, of course. Tua Tagovailoa was 4 of 8, 49 yards, and a touchdown. We had Zach Wilson, 9 of 13, 80 yards. And then we had Quinn Ewers, 7 of 8, 66 yards. Ollie Gordon was running back 1 tonight. Devon Achane has a calf injury, which I'm really worried about. And calf injuries are serious for running backs, especially a speedy, fast running back like Devon Achane. Calf injuries can take up a month to recover from. They're keeping it precautious with him, as always. Is he going to make it back for the start of the season? I don't know, man. A calf injury is really serious. If I'm them, we need Devon Achane out there, but I'm not rushing it. Because if you rush him back and he plays week 1 80%, he might get hurt later in the season, and then we're really screwed. So, it sucks. This team's made of plastic, but I'm not rushing back Devon Achane. And Jalen Wright didn't play either. I don't know the significance of his injury. Mike McDaniel probably talked about it in his press conference, but I'll find that out once I'm done with this podcast. Jalen Wright, I would have a little bit more faith in to be ready for week 1, but even then, Jalen Wright has not had a good training camp at all. I have not been impressed by Jalen Wright in these preseason games that he's played in. So, honestly, Ollie Gordon, it's probably going to be Ollie Gordon and Jalen Wright splitting carries week 1 against the Colts. That would be my assumption, to be honest with you, which probably means Mike McDaniel is going to have Tua drop back 40 times in that game. So, I don't know, man. Ollie Gordon, though, my preseason MVP. 8 carries, 43 yards tonight. Malik Washington, he had 3 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. Really nice 25-yard touchdown, which we'll get to. Tosh Washington, 4 catches, 30 yards. Eric Ezukama, 3 catches, 25 yards. This might be the last we've seen of him as in a Dolphins uniform. And then defense, D.S. Skridge had 1 catch for 21 yards as well. Defense, we had John Saunders get the interception to basically ice the game. Chop got a sack, first play of the game. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb got a half a sack. And Derek McClendon got a sack. So 3 sacks overall for the Miami Dolphins. Okay. So, I'm only going to talk about Miami's offensive drives in this recap. Obviously, like I just said, Chop Robinson got the first sack of the game, untouched, for 9. And then they were able to force Jacksonville to punt. And then the starters were in for 3 or 4 drives. They were in for 3 drives. So they were in for all the drives in the first quarter. And they were fine on defense. I thought the defense was fine overall. The biggest takeaway for the defense was your starting corners were Storm Duck, Jack Jones on the outside, and your nickel was Jason Marshall, not Mike Hilton. So it looks like that is going to be your starting secondary week 1. Does that excite me? Absolutely not. Does that make me nervous? Abso-freaking-lutely. You better believe it does. Our fucking front 7 better be really good because I don't trust these corners worth a shit. So that's my thoughts on that. We'll talk more about that leading up to the first game against Indianapolis. So let's get to this offense. So we had all the starters out there outside of Devon Achane and Tyreek Hill and Darren Waller. Darren Waller was suited up. Darren Waller was in pads. Darren Waller did not play the game, though. Neither did Julian Hill, which I was kind of like, why are they holding out Julian Hill like he's something special? But I think Pharaoh Brown was the starting tight end tonight. First play went for a first down, but it got called back for a legal man downfield by Jonah Savaianaya. And then Tua incomplete to Ollie Gordon. We got half the yardage back with a 9-yard pass to Malik Washington. But what happens? Tua gets sacked on third down. Larry Borom gets absolutely bulldozed. And Tua gets sacked because of Larry Borom. And I have some stuff to say about this offensive line when I'm done talking about these possessions. So, we're back. First play of scrimmage, finally a run play. Ollie Gordon for 5 yards. Second play, Tua gets sacked. Again, loss of 5 yards. That was on, I believe, Savaianaya, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure. But Larry Borom was not impressive at all tonight. And then that third down and 10 play, the pocket collapsed. Tua had to get rid of the ball, and he threw it. There was nobody in the area. And another punt. So this is what I'll say what I gotta say before I talk about this touchdown drive. Going 3-and-out like you did tonight against Jacksonville's backups, it's absolutely inexcusable. It's absolutely inexcusable. That if the offensive line plays like they did in those first two series, I'm sorry, folks, we're going nowhere this year. And really, the health of Austin Jackson's a concern because he is a very important piece to this offense. You saw how good the run game was with Austin Jackson, and then Austin Jackson got hurt last year, and the run game decreased. The run game was not as good. So Austin Jackson is a pivotal piece to this Miami offense. And he's hurt. He's been hurt every year except 2023. We need Austin Jackson in this offense. His main problem is he's never healthy. And I'm sorry, I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. Larry Borom absolutely blows. There's a reason why the Chicago Bears, who had the worst offensive line last year, cut him. Because he was a part of the problem. He was absolutely a part of that problem last year, and I don't trust him blocking Tua's blind side. Because Tua's a left-handed quarterback, so Larry Borom is blocking Tua's blind side. Another issue with this offensive line, I hope that we get an offensive lineman next week because every team in the league is going to be cutting their roster down to 53. So you best believe there's going to be offensive linemen available for the Dolphins to get. Larry Borom is not a good backup. I'm sorry. Keon Smith is not a good backup. Daniel Brunskill is not a good backup. There's going to be hopefully, there's going to be plenty of offensive linemen available for the Dolphins to get on Tuesday. Because, Lord heavens, we need it. We need it more than secondary help. That's a fact. And I never thought I would say this, but every position on the offensive line, if our starter gets hurt and the backup goes in, we're screwed. This team needs Liam Eichenberg. That's how bad the backup offensive linemen are on this team. This Dolphins team needs Liam Eichenberg. And you know what? Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer, they better go down that ship with them because that's their guy. Liam Eichenberg, they had an option not to bring him back this offseason, but they decided to bring him back. They decided to bring back Liam Eichenberg. He's been hurt all camp. He's dealing with a knee injury, but this team needs him. Yes, he sucks, but he's our best option. That's how pathetic it is. Like, our starters, it's not horrible. It's not great, though, either. But if Patrick Paul goes down, we are really in trouble. If Aaron Brewer goes down, I don't know how we're going to survive. I'm not even messing around with that when I say that. And it's really scary when you think about it because the Dolphins have had offensive line problems for years, and they refuse to address it in the offseason. And yeah, they made a couple moves in the offseason. They traded in the second round for Jonas Savaianaya. Hopefully I have the full confidence that he's going to pan out well. Yes, they signed James Daniels, but he's coming off an Achilles injury. He's coming off an Achilles injury last year. So, the starters are not horrible, but doesn't look great. How could you watch tonight and have confidence? Especially if Larry Bourne is in there week 1. Yikes. I don't know, man. And then this running back situation, I'm sorry, but a calf injury is really serious for running backs. I don't know if Devon Achane should be out there week 1. Because, yes, it's a very important game, which I'll talk about when I'm done talking about this, a little bit of this game. But we have more important games in the season than we do week 1 against the Colts. So it might be better off to save Achane for like week 2 or week 3. Give him a week off. Do I think he's going to play against the Colts? I would assume so. But calf injuries are really serious, man. So we could be seeing the duo of Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon week 1 against the Colts. So I don't know. Let's dive into this touchdown drive. Really good drive here. They started horribly. They finished great. First play of the drive, Tua got Jalen Waddle involved for an 8-yard catch. Ollie Gordon first down. And then 3rd and 6. Or actually, we get 2 incompletions in a row. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 6. Then it's 4th and 6. McDaniel goes for it. Good. It's preseason. That's what you should do. And they get the first down to Malik Washington. Love it. Ollie Gordon, 9-yard run on first down. Ollie Gordon, 5-yard run on second down. And then 1st and 10. Tua Tagovailoa rolls out to his left. RPO. Malik Washington makes the linebacker miss, and he's able to get in for the touchdown. We don't know what happened to Jason Sanders, so they went for 2, and Tua got it to Pharaoh Brown. So we went into halftime down. We went into halftime up 8-6, and then third quarter, first drive, we had Zach Wilson was in the game. 3rd and 5, Zach Wilson to Taj Washington for 6 yards and a first down. Then 2nd and 7, Zach Wilson to D. Eskridge for 21 yards down to the Jacksonville 30. We get first down at the Miami 28. Zach Wilson takes a sack. But when he rolled out, he had a defender in his face immediately. So I'm not going to blame him for that one. And then, get this. We have a 4th and 16. And Zach whips one right down the middle of the field to Eric Ezukama for 17 yards. And he gets a first down. Beautiful throw by Zach Wilson. Great catch by Ezukama. Mike Boone runs it in for a touchdown. And literally, the rest of the game, punts. Quinn Ewers was in. We had a punt from Jacksonville, a punt from Miami, a punt from Jacksonville, a punt from Miami, an interception by the Dolphins by John Saunders, and that's your game. That is your game. So, it's all fun. We got the W, but now it matters. Now, This shit counts. And we're going to have plenty of more time to talk about this game. But I will say, in my opinion, Dolphins got the better of the luck of the Colts deciding that Daniel Jones is going to be the starting quarterback. I'm more confident about this game now, knowing that Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback over Anthony Richardson. That gives me a lot more confidence because, yeah, Anthony Richardson might not be good so far in his career, but he's only played 15 games. And he has a lot of talent. He is big. He is strong. He is athletic. He's tough to bring down. Daniel Jones, we know who Daniel Jones is. He started 6 years for the New York Giants. We know who this guy is. He is kind of a scrambler, but he holds on to the ball a lot. He's inaccurate. He takes a lot of sacks. And he's a spot thrower. Daniel Jones is not a good NFL starting quarterback. He's probably a solid backup to have, but he's not a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. And he proved that when he played for the Giants and started for the Giants for 6 years. And if this Dolphins team plans on being a contending team this year, plans on competing for a playoff spot, are the Dolphins a playoff team? Honestly, guys, I don't know. I hope they are, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Dolphins are absolutely going to be in the playoffs this year. I just don't have that much confidence in them. I do think they're not a horrible team like some people are making them out to be. Some people think the Dolphins are going to be last in the AFC East. The Dolphins are going to win 4 to 6 games. There's no way that's happening, guys. No fucking way. Especially if Tua is healthy for all 17 games. That's absolutely ludicrous, okay? I think their ballpark range is 8 to 11 wins. That's their range, and that's where they've been for forever now. For that's where they've been for the last 5 years. Is between 8 and 11 wins. And again, that's where I think they're going to be. But if they contend, if they plan on being a contending team and trying to be a playoff team this year, you better go out there and beat Daniel Jones and beat the Indianapolis Colts week 1. Because, yeah, you might not be a playoff team, but you're sure as hell better than the Colts. Tua is sure as hell better than Daniel Jones is. So, this is a very pivotal game. And we're very similar to the Colts because we have a general manager and a head coach whose jobs are on the line this year. Let's just call a spade a spade. Mike McDaniel is coaching for his job for the future. Chris Greer's job as general manager is on the line. Same thing with the Colts. General manager Chris Ballard, his job is on the line. Shane Steichen, his job as Colts head coach, on the line this year. So, we'll see, man. And somehow the Dolphins are underdogs. I don't understand that at all. How you're going to have Daniel Jones as a favorite against the Miami Dolphins. absolutely, that is ludicrous. That's ludicrous. But I think this is probably the most pivotal week one game we've had in a very long time. And I know that Chargers game a couple years ago was a huge one with Tua and Herbert and how good of a game that was, bro. That game was amazing. The shootout, the back and forth between both offenses, the game-winning sack by Jalen Phillips. That's probably the best week one game in Dolphins history that I've ever seen. But now this is a pivotal game in a now or never season for the Dolphins. You've got to start this season 1-0. And then you play within your division the next 3 weeks. So we're going to need this game against the Colts. I don't care if it's week 1. This is a must-win game. There's a lot of pressure on this team to go win in Indianapolis. So we'll talk about it more in the coming weeks leading up to the game on September 7th. But I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below your thoughts on this game. Your thoughts going into the 2025 season for your Miami Dolphins. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter, Conlin_Joseph, and TikTok as well, Conlin_Joseph. I will see you guys Tuesday with my reactions to who the Dolphins cut, who's on the 53-man roster, and who could be brought into this team that is cut by other teams. So we'll talk about that on Tuesday night. All right, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy and fins up. Peace.